Thanks very much for watching, guys. And if you enjoyed that clip, all you got to do is tap that link and you can watch the full show. There's going to be lots of Valentine's cookie talk, apple pie talk, and of course, good old apple juice and water. Thanks very much, and get those winners. All right, so we're going to move on to another game. 2 down, 6 to go. And once again, guys, this is going to be a familiar game for you and for me because we just bet, we just cashed, and we're going right back to the well. Texas Arlington versus Texas State. Well, we've seen a major line adjustment in this game, and we've seen it now. Texas State open up as a 7-point favorite down to 5.5 or 5. With the total, it opened at 127.5, and I'm seeing 128.5 across the board. So not much option there. But I do think that if it isn't broke, don't try and fix it. This is a big rivalry within Texas for both of these teams. And when you look at this Texas State Bobcat team, I've said it before, when they got rid of Danny Casper, this was a big change for this team. It brought them together. I think that we're going to see them do even better at home. I think that when you look at some of their home performances, they have been a little bit shaky. They have cost a bit of money, but I do think that with Texas State, they're looking to sweep, and I think that they're going to be able to. They're in first place in the West Division. They are in the CIT mid-major poll, and Texas' strength is their defense. They lead the Sun Belt with a scoring defense of 62.5 points a game. They rank 20 in Division I. The Bobcats definitely force a lot of turnovers, probably 15 to 17 a game, which is definitely top 50 in the nation. And with Texas State averaging close to 70 points a game while shooting over 45%, this is a team that shares the ball, moves the ball well, and takes good shots and doesn't try and force the issue. I think that with their three-point shooting, it's just another spot where I think that the odds makers are finally starting to respect the ability of Texas State. And with guys like Caleb Asbury, Mason Harrell, and Isaiah Small, you got versatile players. Harrell's going to be able, he's a guy that can give you 20. He's going to stretch the floor. He's going to make his free throws at above 80%. And he's also going to give you a little ball distribution. So I think that in conference, he's maintained his scoring average around 14 points a game. And it's gone really nicely along with Caleb Asbury, because Caleb Asbury, he's averaging around the same, but he's shooting 50% from the floor and over 45% from the three-point line. Then you throw in the fact that Isaiah Small has come in, worked his way into this lineup. The New Jersey natives played fantastically, and he's averaging 14 points per game in conference. He's hitting 63% from the floor, 54% from three-point range. And listen, if you can get that kind of versatility from the big man, all you need him to do is start making his goddamn free throws. I think that with the Mavericks, they've won a lot of games coming into this series, but they're going up against a team that just has a little better defense, going to make Shahada Wells and Sam Griffin work that much harder to get these three-point buckets. And without David Azori in the lineup, I don't want to oversimplify things, but the reality is this UTA team is beatable if you can shut one or the two of them down. When it comes to this total, there's lots of times that Texas State has played games at this number and it stayed under. I still have confidence in this number, even though my numbers say this is a 131 to 132.5 type game. I'm saying, screw you numbers. I'm going with what I know, what I've been watching, what I've been tracking. And what I've been tracking is the fact that Texas State's been going under by 2.5 points or more. So I'm going to say Texas State has this kind of formula to win this game and cover this number. Go and get a lead, get a good start. You're going to be able to win the battle in the field from a shooting perspective. And if you can lock down the three-point line better than you did in the second half of the previous game, then I think that you're going to be okay. You do have to learn how to pass out of their full court press and their trapping, but now that you have film on it, I'm sure that the assistant coaches are going to be hammering that in. Texas State needs to get to the free throw line more, and I think that you got to make sure that it's not Isaiah Small that the one that's going there all the time. And it just becomes a fundamental thing with Texas State. You have to have balanced scoring. That's when you're at your best. You got to take care of the ball. You cannot succumb to the pressure of UTA. And you have to return the favor. Don't let UTA operate in the half court because Shahada Wells is going to eat you up from the mid-range. You got to go after them. You got to surprise them. You got to switch up the defenses. And listen, if you can stop Shahada Wells and Sam Griffin, you're going to win this game by 10 plus. If you can stop one of them, then I still believe that you can cover this 5.5 or 5 points. So I'm going to go back to what's been working, and I'm going to take the Texas State under 128.5, which is available at Bet365 at -110, and I'm going to take Texas State -5 at -110 available at Circa. So that's just what it is. I like the numbers. I disagree with my own numbers, and if that comes back to haunt me, then you guys will be able to roast me. But as far as I'm concerned, this is a Texas State team that is head and shoulders better. Of course, you worry about the zigzag when it comes to the total on the side, but I'm not. I'm going with it, and I will be washing my Texas State Bobcat shirt in the morning and then putting it on again when the game starts.